Hello, I'd like to talk about Kazuo Ishiguro's first novel called A Pale View of Hills. I think this is the fiction that he was young, like a 20-ish, I think. He wrote this and he got lots of awards and praise for this particular fiction. And when I read this, it is amazing. It is almost like his genius is, I think, stronger in this particular fiction compared to like Remains of the Day, Never Let Me Go. Yeah, I like this one very, very much. The thing is that in this particular book, I think the storyline is kind of confusing because lots of parallel lines, and when you read it, like a straightforward read it, you accept the straightforward the understanding of the whole stories, and that's okay. But if you contemplate a little bit about the story, you feel like, wow, this interpreted this way or this interpreted that way, and it's kind of scary sometimes when it's interpreted that way. Then that means what, and so it's a very like a thriller, almost like a thriller. This one, and it's about this the mother and child, and like a suicide, and the child and the adults, and and the image of the something like a very stubborn image of something like you're dragging something, a very strange object with you, and you looked at it, and all of a sudden you realize that's something else. And so I think I would say this is almost like but my first favorite of the Kazuo Ishiguro's fiction is Remains the Day, regardless for me. And I used to be the Never Let Me Go was like a second favorite, but Never Let Me Go, when I first read Never Let Me Go, I didn't know anything about it, and so that was like eye-opening, revelation, when you go slowly, this what's going on and so forth. And then, but that was very much fun to first reading, but once you got to know what's going on there, almost like like a detective mind is all gone, and you are not interested to reread again, and so that's a bad thing about the Never Let Me Go. Remains of the Day is nothing like that. Remains of the Day is like a very straightforward, very heartfelt fictions, and this one, I think you want to read again and again, maybe because there's several interpretations of this particular book. And when you interpret this or that way, you realize his genius in this book. And I don't know why he created this particular story, and that's, I would say, tremendously, I admire him when he created this particular story, and I can see where he's going, where he's what his direction, and the other later fictions also. I think he think about what he should be writing, what he should be focusing, and but it's all up to the reader to interpret that particular story. There is no one way to interpret. I think the authors I think make efforts is to make each individual's interpretations, and I think that's more fun for author to create the particular story, because there's lots of interpretations, and I think multi interpretation there, and then I think it's much deeper in that way. So I strongly recommend, even after you read all his other books, this is worth reading. I think, and especially when you think about his young genius, and I think that's kind of you really think about that. This is not a matured older person's perspective. This is a young person's very ambitious, I think, way of making a story. I think that's what I feel, and very interesting, very keen way of making a story. And I love this. So that's my few cents today. Okay, thank you. Bye.